A train travels 2,200 miles from Phoenix to New York City. The train covers the first 240 miles in 5 hours. If the train continues to travel at this rate, how many more hours will it take to reach New York City? Round your answer to the nearest whole hour. Wow, so Phoenix is in Arizona, and that's very far from New York City. And I don't know if there is a train that directly connects Phoenix and New York City. There are trains that connect Chicago and potentially Phoenix. But anyway, the train covers the first 240 miles in 5 hours. So what does that mean? We can figure out with that information the miles per hour. Okay? So 240 miles divided by 5 hours gives you what? Times, so let me just do this here. 5. Okay, so 48. 48 what? 48 miles per hour. So this is why it's important to have those units attached. Okay, so this makes sense. So the train travels 48 miles per hour. And it needs to go, so in 5 hours, it'll cover 240 miles. So let's reduce it. Let's get rid of that from the main 2,200 miles minus the 240 that it already covered. So we have 1,960 miles that is left to travel. And we need to figure out how can we relate the 48 miles an hour, that's the constant speed that it travels, to the 1,960 miles left to travel. So let me put miles here. Miles. So we should know that if we multiply to get the time, we could either do the distance over the rate. So to find out time, we can do time is equal to the distance over the rate, which would mean the distance that's needed to travel is 1,960 over the rate of 48 miles per hour. So that will give you miles per hour. So how many? 48 goes into 1,960. How many times? So if we want to do the division of 1,960 divided by 48, we can do some scrap math here. So 48 goes into 1,960. Let's just deal with this portion first. So 48 goes into 196. How many times? 50 goes into 200 4 times. So 48. So let's say 48 times 4, 32, 16 plus 3, 190. Okay, so 4, and that is 192, and you're left with 40. 48 does not go into 440, so 48 goes into 400 about it goes into it 0 times, right? And 0 times 48 is 48. 0 times 48 is 0. And now you're left with another 40. And $48 goes into 400. Let's just say 40. Let's just leave it as 40. Okay, so we can just say that the time is 40. Distance is 40. And it's gonna be some number. It's gonna be greater than 5, right? Because what is 5 times 48? 48 times 5 is 40. 24, right? 240. It's going to be much greater because we still have to get to 400. So because we know this is going to be 5, it's going to be greater than 5. We can say this could be 8 or 9 or whatever, or 7. And it'll just jump up because we are round your answer to the nearest whole hour. So we can just jump this to a 41, right? And so the T would be 41 hours. A crucial part here is to realize that the miles cancels out. I think it's really important. And how it cancels out is because when you have miles over miles per hour, like this situation here, and this situation, we multiply the top by hours times miles, and this by hours times miles. Miles cancels out, and you're left with hours. And that's why this is how the final answer becomes 41 hours.